What's up, fellas? In the first video of the day, we're going to be talking about Kevin Love. There's actually been a lot of people asking me to do some Cavs videos lately, but this one feels like the most newsworthy thing about the Cavs. I know they got some young players playing well, but Kevin Love has basically given up on the team. There's some stat lines lately that show that this guy, he just doesn't care. He doesn't care about the team anymore, and I'm not necessarily saying he's wrong for that, but I am saying that I feel like it's something that we need to talk about. And that's what we're going to be doing in the first video of the day. But quickly before we get started, a reminder, I upload twice a day, every day on this channel. It's the most consistent NBA content on YouTube. This is the first video of the day. You'll be seeing the second one a handful of hours from now, every single day. If that's something you're into, consider subscribing. If you like the video, leave a like rating. Various socials and a Linktree link down in the description below. With those things said, let's talk about Kevin Love. So a couple of days ago, Kevin Love visibly gave up on the team. He was frustrated within the game. He didn't feel like he was getting the ball. He didn't feel like he was being prioritized within the offense. He was frustrated with the younger players, whatever the case may be, right? Basically threw away an inbound, but kind of threw like a tantrum, kind of had a fit, right, in the middle of a basketball game. And then in their most recent game, Kevin Love played 22 minutes, did not attempt a free throw, and did not attempt a shot. Now, if you want to try and tell me that was coincidental, I'm just going to tell you you're not paying enough attention. There's no way that someone like Kevin Love, who's one, frustrated about the amount of shot attempts he has not been getting, two, is still a good player, by the way, and three, is a veteran that should be prioritized in this group. There's no way that you can tell me this guy does not get off a single shot attempt in 22 minutes, unless he does that on purpose. So essentially, Kevin Love is protesting the Cleveland Cavaliers, okay? All of which I find very interesting because there have been certain points in the past, post the LeBron era, where Kevin Love has been visibly frustrated on the court with his team. And every single time that it happens, he goes, "I'm sorry, that's not me, I apologize." Kev, it's you, okay? There's no other explanation. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't be like, man, that's not who I am. When you do it 4 times, Kev, that's kind of who you are, right? Now, granted, I'm not even like mad at him for being frustrated. Like, I get it. Like, Cleveland's not a great place to be right now. It's a youth movement. They've been unable to find a trade partner for you. You've been trying to get out of there for forever. You've been hurt, year after year after year. Even going back to when the team was successful and you did win a title, everybody knew that if they did not win that 2016 title, Kevin Love was going to get traded. He was the guy that was going to be on the move. He was the scapegoat. He was the Chris Bosh of that era. He was going to be the guy that was going to get moved. And then even since then, things have only gotten progressively worse. So I'm not even mad at you, okay? But you kind of got to accept the situation that you're in, okay? Here's the domino effect. The Cleveland thing was really, really good when LeBron was there. You win a title, and he's come out and he's spoken about how at times that's been really difficult for him. He's had his own struggles, within his own life, and a lot of people, go through that kind of stuff. And I applaud him for talking about that publicly, and I know that's helped a lot of people, okay? But specifically, the situation that he's in right now was one that he dictated for himself, okay? The stuff that happened in the LeBron era was not necessarily something that he dictated. He ended up in Cleveland. He was kind of forced into the role that he was in. Everybody knew that if they lost, then he would have been traded. Had a great couple of moments in the finals. They win a title, right? Since then, though, nobody forced him to re-sign in Cleveland. Pretty much everybody, but apparently the people on that Cleveland roster knew that they were no longer going to be anything close to a competing team once LeBron left. And, I always advocate for guys to go get their money. I have no issue with someone signing an extension and, just being like, you know what, this is for the cash. I want to get the money, especially when you've already won a title, especially when you've already had a nice career like Kevin Love has. Cool. 100% fine with that, right? But then down the road, right, when then you don't provide the value commensurate with the contract that you sign and thus making it difficult to trade you, whether that be because of injuries or whatever the case may be, you can't then just throw a tantrum and be mad about it and give up on the team and also expect that to result in you being moved from the team. None of those things connect. None of those things make sense, okay? You go from signing the contract to not providing value to the team because you're hurt or because you're not playing well, whatever the case may be, making it difficult for you to be moved, even though you want to be traded. He's been wanting to be traded for at least 2 years now, right? And then your answer to that is, let me further lower my trade value by giving up on my current team so that no other teams also want to trade for me on top of the injury and the performance stuff that are already reasons for teams not to trade for you. That doesn't make any sense to me, okay? Now, if you think that is your path and your route to getting out of Cleveland because they just want to be rid of you. And they're like, Kevin Love is such an issue for this group that we need to just go ahead and dump him, buy him out, whatever the case may be. I guess that makes sense. But Kev, this is the situation you're in. Is it always going to be perfect? Are these young guards, these young players going to know how to prioritize a post player when going back to their AAU days, they've never had to feed the post in their entire life? No. They're not going to know how to do that. And they're certainly not going to know how to do that straight away when they're second and third year guys or a rookie, right? It's going to be difficult for them to figure that kind of stuff out, and it's not always going to be perfect. And I'm not even saying you're wrong for being frustrated with them. Frustration is a part of it, right? But being frustrated and not taking a shot attempt in 22 minutes are two entirely different. That's just petty. That's all that is, right? It's just showing the rest of the league how frustrated you are, but everybody pretty much already knows. So the answer to all of this is you kind of just got to figure it out, man. Like you have to figure out a way to provide enough value to this team to be a positive trade asset so that someone can go out and get you rather than the Cavs just dumping you on somebody. Okay, that's option one. Or you got to play out the rest of the contract that you signed. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes people get it in their head in the NBA that because they're one of these top level players, they're allowed to just ask out and be done whenever they want to be done. There's a difference between James Harden doing what he did, which by the way was not the correct way to handle it at all, but ultimately he got to where he wanted to go to because he's James Harden and because he's been a top 3 MVP guy for 5 years in a row. There's a difference between that and Kevin Love, who has not been a highly performing NBA player for a couple of years now, certainly not a highly available one either, acting this way in an attempt to get out of Cleveland, okay? There's two different levels of value being provided there. Nobody's going to go out of their way right now to go get Kevin Love, and it's only being made worse by what he's been doing lately. And there's two different sides to this. One, I'm not faulting him for being frustrated, okay? It's a situation that he put himself in, but I think it's perfectly reasonable for him to be frustrated, okay? But if the goal is to be productive with your frustration and to be put into a better situation, then the way he's going about it right now is not the way to do that. Okay, so you get to make a choice. One, you can be frustrated and you can screw up inbounds passes and you can not take a single shot for 22 minutes and the Cavs just won't play you. And you'll sit there and you'll waste away and they'll do the Al Horford thing where they just send you home, right? That's option one. Or you can figure it out. You can try and mentor some of these young guys or figure out some kind of deal with the coaching staff where you can be like, hey, I'm frustrated. These guys aren't getting me the ball. Can we figure this out? And then try and play your way into a position of value to then get traded, okay? One of those avenues results in you being traded to a new team. The other results in you potentially being bought out or just not playing basketball. Those are two options, okay? And I don't know all the ins and outs of the situation. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know everything that's happening in Cleveland, right? There could be a ton of other things going on here. I'm willing to admit that. But based off what we can physically see with our eyes, Kevin Love is not going about this in the correct way, and he needs to figure out a way to provide value to the team. That's the only way he's going to get himself into a positive basketball situation again. You don't think that a year ago when he wanted to go to Portland, you don't think Portland would have loved to have the old version of Kevin Love on their roster? You don't think they would have been jumping for joy to go out of their way to trade for someone like that, trade value in exchange for Kevin Love? I'm positive they would have. Look at the situation that Portland's in now. They don't have multiple guys they can really rely on a consistent basis when either Damian Lillard or CJ McCollum gets hurt. They don't have guys that can score outside of those two players. It's consistently an issue for them. They would have loved to have 2016, 2017 Kevin Love, but that guy's gone. And ever since then, ever since LeBron left, he's done nothing to try and provide value to his current team so that then he can provide value to a different team via trade. Cleveland's priority is two things. One, developing the younger players, which they're trying to do. And two, getting value out of veterans to continue their rebuild moving forward. The problem is Kevin Love has not put himself in a position to be a player that provides value, which means you're not going to get moved, okay? So at the end of the day, I get the frustration, okay? Guys in the NBA get frustrated about stuff all the time. But there's a difference between just being mad to be mad and being productive with it, okay? If you want to take that frustration and be like, man, these guys won't give me the ball, okay, go out one game and say, hey, by the way, this is my game. I'm going to dominate this game. I'm going to score 20, 25. I'm going to get 20 boards, and I'm going to start providing value so these other teams see what they're missing out on and see that I can overcome what is a not great situation in Cleveland in terms of the guards and in terms of how they're prioritizing me as a post player, right? I'm going to go ahead and show people that I can move past that, okay? That's just, I've said it, I don't know how many times, 4 times now, right? Be productive with your frustration. Not taking a shot attempt in 22 minutes is only decreasing the likelihood that you get yourself into a better situation. I know it's easy for me that's not in the moment to say this and say all these things about how you need to be acting differently, okay? But ultimately, as someone on the outside looking in, the path is clear towards you getting out of Cleveland and not taking a shot attempt in 22 minutes and having these outbursts and then apologizing later saying that that's not who you are. None of those things are productive towards getting you moved. That's the bottom line, all right? So that's my Kevin Love rant. I can't believe how animated I actually just got about that. I didn't know I had all that in me. But that's going to be the end of the first video of the day, fellas. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like rating. You can check out the second video from me as well. It's going to be coming out a little bit later today. You can check out the boxes on screen for more videos from me, and you can check out various socials and a link down in the description below. With all those things said, hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day, and I will see you all next time.